You're watching the 2019-20 SCAC Basketball Media Days. Today, we're taking a look at the Colorado College men's basketball program. The Tigers, of course, coming off an 8-17 season a year ago, 4-12 in SCAC play. The Tigers will be led once again by head coach Andy Partee, along with senior CooXooEii Black. And Coach CooXooEii, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Coach, we'll get started with you. You're heading into your 14th season there at Colorado College. Kind of a unique situation. You return a ton of experience this year. 4 starters from your team a season ago. When you return that much experience from a team, does that sort of help jumpstart preseason? Do you feel like you can get through things a little bit quicker and kind of expedite this part of the season?
Yeah, that's the idea, Russell. You hope that a lot carries over from the previous year. The good and the bad. We had a lot of struggles early on with how young we were last year, but we started getting around the learning curve a lot more towards the end of the year. And fortunately for us, we went out this summer and played abroad, so we had some extra reps, which hopefully translates in the early going this season. But yeah, it helps to have a lot of bodies that return from last year and really demonstrate some growth.
CooXooEii, for you as a senior, kind of take me through your mindset coming into preseason. You've been a huge part of this team as far as its success on the floor and the production that you've been able to put forward. But as a senior, what feels different, and is there kind of a sense of urgency for you going into your final preseason there?
First of all, I want to say I'm really excited about this season, and our team right now has a lot of individual talent, and going into the preseason and moving into our exhibition games, our focus right now is being able to put all that individual talent together. And I believe that once we really start playing more fluid, feel more comfortable with each other, then I think we're going to make a really deep run this year. And as far as sense of urgency goes, it's actually kind of crazy. I'm not sure that the senior year feeling has quite hit me yet. It just feels like another year when we come in, we put in the work, and we do what we got to do to prepare. So we'll see how it feels moving along the year. But right now, it's a calm feeling. It's an excited feeling, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Coach CooXooEii talked about the talent, the individual talent that this team possesses. You look at the season a year ago, this was a really good shooting team, second best in the SCAC in terms of field goal percentage, just over 45%, and the best in terms of shooting from beyond the arc at 35.5% as well. How do you continue that trend this season, and what makes a good shooting basketball team?
Well, a good shooting basketball team needs an interior threat, and I think that CooXooEii is certainly one of the best interior threats in the conference and draws some extra attention. So, and we've talked about this year making sure that we continue that inside-out attack, and the perimeter players allowing us to at least get some paint touches early on, so life is much easier for them on the perimeter. So I just think that balance is necessary, and if we know where our shots are going to come from, I think the confidence level is pretty high.
CooXooEii, for you, you're coming off a very impressive junior campaign in which you earned second team all SCAC honors. You averaged 18.5 points and 7.2 rebounds per contest. Take me through this offseason. What did this summer look like for you? How have you continued to grow as a basketball player to make sure you were as prepared as you possibly could be going into your senior campaign?
So coming into Colorado College, my game was a lot of back to the basket. And then as I progressed, it's been a little more face-up. And this year, I wanted to get a little more comfortable with being out on the perimeter, being able to attack the rim off the dribble. I want to stretch my shooting out to the three-point this year, and I've been working hard on that this offseason. If I can get from 6 to 8 points off of attacking the basket, off of three-pointers, I believe that will help my game, help open things up for me and also for my team as well. And also just getting stronger. It's a long season, and I want to make sure that my body is able to take all the wear and tear of banging down low with the rest of the bigs in the conference, and just being prepared physically.
Coach, you return a ton of experience. We've talked about that. You also bring in 6 freshmen that are new to this program. What are kind of your message to your new players as they come into your program? What are you looking for these freshmen, especially with so much experience returning? How do you kind of integrate them into your system here early on in the year?
Well, any year we bring on newcomers, I want to make sure that they have the understanding that we expect them to grow, we expect them to contribute, whatever that contribution looks like. It may not manifest itself early on in terms of stuffing the stat sheets or playing a bulk of minutes, but there are a few freshmen who I think can play and contribute this year. It's just a matter of them feeling like we need them to grow. There may not be a sense of urgency for them to grow exponentially and contribute immediately, but we certainly would like them to. For their own development, I'd like for them to compete for minutes and not defer to the guys who are much older and who've been in the program for 1 or 2 years. So it's important for them to find themselves and find their place within the program. And as they continue to grow, hopefully they realize that their roles can also grow and expand.
CooXooEii, this league to me has really become one of those any given night leagues as far as from top to bottom. Anyone can win at anyone's place, home or away. And 1 or 2 games can make such a huge difference when it comes to getting into the SCAC tournament or seeding once it comes to the SCAC tournament. What are the challenges that you love about navigating the SCAC schedule, and what is kind of your message to some of the younger athletes that maybe haven't gone through it, but that you can deliver to them that will help this team as a whole moving into the season?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest challenges, especially for us being all the way out in Colorado, is the travel. We got to spend a few hours on the plane, a few hours traveling through the airport, a few hours on the bus. So in terms of all that travel, it takes time to get used to learning how to rest, learning how to prepare your body physically and mentally. So to a younger athlete, I would just say be prepared to embrace all of that. There's a lot of fun with it when you're traveling with your group of friends, and just the travel, it takes a lot out of you. So being able to prepare yourself mentally after a long day of traveling can really be the difference maker in who wins and who goes home with a loss.
Coach, as this preseason has unfolded and we're a couple of weeks in and practices have gotten underway and you've sort of taken some inventory of your group, has anything surprised you that kind of gives you a little bit more confidence as you get prepared for this new season?
I wouldn't say that I've been surprised. I was fortunate, like I said earlier, this summer to be on the court with them in late June, early July, which is something I've never had to experience in my 14 years. So it's almost like that trip to Costa Rica this summer was a few weeks ago. So I'm getting an opportunity to see these guys grow and develop real time from one season to the next. But I've certainly seen some growth. I think my confidence lies in that the greatest thing that happens to my freshmen is they became sophomores, and they represent still a bulk of our roster.
CooXooEii, finally to wrap things up with you, as you've had conversations with your teammates about some of the goals for this 2019-2020 Tigers men's basketball season, what have those conversations looked like, and what are some of those team goals as you head into a new year?
Yeah, so we met with a sports psychologist, which has helped our team in the past. We took time to lay out what our team identity wants to look like and what we want to do individually to contribute to that team identity. And a big one for us is brotherhood. We want to make sure that we're getting along on the court as well as off the court, supporting each other off the court, which then translates to supporting each other on the court. One of the stakes in our identity was working hard, and under that there's all these sub-levels of doing what you got to do to help the team get better, really stepping into your role and embracing that, bringing the energy, holding each other accountable. So just a lot of accountability as brothers, and through that, like I said earlier, once we put our individual talent together, I believe that it's really just going to fall together really good, and that accountability piece is going to be huge for us.
And finally, Coach, to wrap things up with you, as you take a look ahead to this season, this year is successful if what plays out on the court with your guys. What are you looking for from them to kind of continue to take those steps to make this a successful season in your mind?
I expect them to take it one day at a time, recognizing that last season, while it was a challenging season, it's a long marathon, and that growth takes place day by day. And While last year we were focused on late in the season trying to make it to the conference tournament, I think we've learned that we need to focus more on the process, and the results will handle themselves. So really just that day-to-day focus. I think we all feel that we've grown and we're a much better team this year, but still we have another marathon ahead of us.
Colorado College men's basketball program. Again, the Tigers will be led as they head into the season by head coach Andy Partee along with senior CooXooEii Black. The Tigers will open up the year when they take on University of Northern Colorado on November 12th. Coach CooXooEii, thanks so much for joining us today, and best of luck as you march into the season.
Thanks, Russell.
Yeah,
Our pleasure.
Thank you.